we have wrapped Adam Devine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun day, despite the damage to the...
We marked up Adam's ceiling through just kind of an unfortunate incident. What happened?
So we...
I don't even know why we're starting.
Well, it's funny, and we have footage of it. Yeah, so our key lights hang, and they're heavy, so they hang over, so we have to counterweight them. The counterweight we're using, the strap broke mid-interview, and the light fell and scratched the ceiling. The stand scratched the ceiling, and the light almost fell on Adam's head. And
I think I caught it, didn't I?
Because I met Blake.
the water bag fell.
That's gonna need to be touched up.
Yeah.
Whoa, the handle broke. I mean, water bag.
Well,
Everybody good?
definitely keep how scared I was.
Whether or not you would have prevented it from like completely falling, I couldn't tell, but
I think I prevented him from getting injured.
I think it leaned against the window. I'm not sure, but yeah, I rushed in as fast as I could.
Adam's face though was hilarious. I talked to him for the BTS clip afterwards, and he's like, oh, he said it in the interview too, but he's like, you have to use my reaction.
Did you fear for your life at all when we had the equipment mishap in the middle of that?
Dude,
interview?
I hope you, I so hope that you use just a clip of it falling over, because I looked like such a bitch. I looked so scared, dude. I was like, oh.
He has the best facial expressions, I think, of anybody we've profiled.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny. Carlos was editing and incorporating that in something, and he was using the part where he like mimed being funny, like being scared.
Yeah.
Where he was like, oh, and Carlos, and I was like, no, use the moment of actual terror, because there's a moment in it where he's like genuinely, without knowing what was happening, like genuine terror on his face, and it was, I felt bad. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make us look great as a crew when lights are falling, but it was just a freak thing where like the same sandbag we've been using forever, just the handle or the strap just happened to give out in that moment. But we have all new ones. We replaced all of them.
There we go.
So we're all good. We're all set on that.
What did you think of Adam?
I got teed up with him by Eric Stone Street, so major shout out and thank you to Eric, who we profiled obviously earlier this year. And then we started texting, and he said he would do it, but you know, when somebody tells you they're gonna do it and then actually getting them in the chair, there's a big gap oftentimes between those. Or sometimes somebody commits and, you know, fast forward 5 years and then you're sitting down with them for the first time. So you never really know. And Adam was true to his word every step of the way, teed us up with the folks on his end to sort all the details. And he was fun. His wife was fun. It was neat talking to his family as part of it as well. And he's kind of a cool setup in Orange County also.
I think it was one of the funnier interviews I think we've ever had. I mean, it felt like a lot of the crew was laughing behind the scenes and trying to like stifle laughter so you couldn't hear it. Like between the toe falling off story while he was in the bathroom.
And he was
masturbating.
No. Jizz. But you didn't set that
You
up
did stuff right. It's not my fault.
And he was jizz? What does that even mean? You're not as good at it as Adam was. I fought hard to get that put back in the episode, by the way. There was so much. That's the thing that sucks about having to shove a full day with somebody into like 22 minutes. Is a lot of his stories were so funny because of his delivery and his timing, so we have to kind of like, you know, cram it all into a short thing. But it was, I think it was the funniest interview that I've sat in on. I mean, we've had some good ones. Seinfeld was really funny, but Adam was just animated and very open.
He brings it. Like he
just isn't ashamed of anything. I mean, he was telling a masturbation story, and his mom was sitting 10 feet behind the cameras.
Oh, was she there?
Wasn't she there?
Yeah, she was there.
She was,
I mean, his whole team was there. Yeah.
Okay, I had no idea his parents were. I thought
His mom
they
and his
left
dad
to
were there.
take the kid. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Well, they may have left at some point during the
Okay, but they were there at the
His dad might
start.
have, but I think his mom was there for all of it.
Okay. I'm not sure
Yeah.
on that. Sorry,
That
Penny.
makes me feel bad.
She knows all the stories.
Well, I was very uncomfortable knowing I was going to ask him those couple questions at the very start of the interview because I wasn't sure. Like, it seemed like he was a funny dude that liked to.
But you
You know,
never know
joke
who you're
around.
actually going to get.
But
yeah.
you never know when, like, if they're expecting, because he'd seen some of our stuff and we do these, deep profiles, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
tell me about masturbating in the tub and losing your toe.
Yeah.
That's the-
I've told a lot of friends that story, and they,
Really?
yeah, it's a hilarious story. Yeah, I could tell it was going to be a fun day from like, we were setting up and Carlos was shooting him working out and you could just hear him screaming, like joking around and just like, I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah,
And
I
then
had,
he,
I had to ask Adam's team, like, wait, what? Somebody yelling? Like, who is that? What is that? He's like, oh, that's Adam just yelling while he works out.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's
Like
go.
he
Let's go
always
film
does that, or he was playing it up? For
His
the
No,
camera?
he was doing that
told us-
before we were filming. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it was just
Well,
what
she
he
told
does.
us the day before, like he
Yeah.
yells a lot when he's working out. Like I don't know if he does it when he's in there by himself, but he was probably playing to the camera a little bit, I'd imagine. But I'd like to imagine he wasn't.
But he wasn't. We weren't filming him when he started. Like,
Oh, he was
we
doing it
heard
before.
him yelling, and that's how I knew he was working out because his assistant said, "That's Adam. Don't mind him." I'm like, "What's he doing?" He sounds like he's getting like, "What's happening to him?" It's like, "Oh, he's just working out." It's like, "Can we go film that?" And we asked him. We said, "Yes."
Yeah.
I thought the funniest part of the day was sitting down with Adam and his wife, and her bringing up how much he takes craps.
Takes crap. That's funnier than them talking about it.
So what are his quirks?
Ooh,
Oh.
hit me with some. On the spot, she hates improv games, so I always try to get her to do a little improv game.
Quirks? What are your quirks?
Do you want the definition of quirk?
Yeah, actually, I think that would help.
Okay, definition of quirk, a weird attribute.
Okay. You poop like 50 times a day. I'd say that's a quirk.
It's not 50. It's
More
not.
than the average person.
Yeah.
An unhealthy amount?
Drink a lot of coffee. Comes out.
And he was actually, at that moment, seemed genuinely uncomfortable.
I would be.
Like the look on his face when she, like it wasn't, I mean, he played it off eventually, but in that moment, you could tell he got embarrassed.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny parts in that. Whenever you brought up the bachelor party, his response to that I thought was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
How was the Lake of the Ozarks bachelor party?
Graham, what the
I heard you saved a girl's life.
Graham, why are you bringing up the bachelor party in front of my wife, dude? You bring up the bachelor party, really?
Which I think it's great that he has that attitude. I mean, there's plenty of other timelines of his life where he's not alive today because of that cement truck accident he got into when he was 11 years old. And it's just crazy that he had that, he learned to walk again, and he attributes that to being where he is today and even being an actor. And he tells that story, and it's just so grisly, and it's like, it's incredible that he is where he is. I guess that's the best way to phrase that.
I still can't get over thinking about a leg being degloved from the knee down. That is like,
Meaning
Like
for
the-
clarification,
Yeah,
skin, right.
See,
like a sock.
Grizzly. I said grizzly.
And then
That's
he
the
showed
word.
us his leg. That was pretty gnarly. Which is funny because we got there that morning and he was in shorts and I didn't even notice.
I didn't either. Yeah.
He was like walking around in shorts and a shirt and I didn't notice at all. And then during the interview, he pulled his pants up and it was like, yeah.
What I found most crazy about all that, aside from the fact that he just recovered and had all this success, was that recently he thought he was going to die.
Like a few years ago, right?
Not even
Last
a few
year,
years
it
ago,
was
up
last
until
year.
right before
Yeah.
his kid was born.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
The kid just had its 1-year-old, or his 1-year-old birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they thought he had, what's it called?
Stiff
something
person
about
syndrome.
Stiff person
Yeah.
syndrome. But he's still grappling with all these health
Oh, yeah.
issues today.
He has to exercise and otherwise that's.
We got up. That brings up one of the funnier moments is Graham had mentioned, hey, like, because he was talking about the injury, and Graham was like, well, do you need to take a break? Like, just trying to be nice. And he stands up and he does like this whole like gyrating
dance,
exercise thing, and he's like, Graham, all right, it's your turn. and then you didn't do it.
No,
That
okay. I was like, did I?
disappointed
I
me.
don't.
That disappointed me.
By the way, do you need to take a break for?
Watch this. Good to go.
Is that the normal routine?
But I did, despite not having swim trunks, jump off the top of the boat in my spandex liners that I am forcing you guys to creatively edit. Although you did a pretty good job.
We make you look good, Graham. We try. Were you scared of sharks?
Yeah, actually, because he said, I don't know if he was screwing with me, but I feel like he wasn't. That he had the app that shows where the sharks are, and he decided to take it off his phone because there were so many around, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we're probably 45 minutes off the Southern California coast in freezing water, and we're like, let's just strip down and jump in the ocean.
Oh, that's such bull. I got the swimmy trunks. You don't have any.
No, I don't.
All right. So how are we doing this?
I didn't think that was going to happen. It kept getting pitched. that
Who
we were
kept
gonna
pitching
jump
it?
off the boat.
Me?
I think
Or-
it was you.
Okay,
To jump in?
because you got in my head the night, right? It was you that got in my head the night before. No, I'm sorry, not the night before, the day of, and said something about how, hey, we might get in the water, right?
So I guess the full story on that, I had asked Adam's assistant, I said, hey, is Adam potentially open to jumping in? Is that something you think he would do? Like when he goes out in the middle,
so
when he goes
you
out.
brought it up.
I brought it up to the assistant, and then she says, I don't know, I can ask Adam. I didn't hear anything after that other than like the next day. And then I think she ended up talking to Adam, and then I think that's how it got
When we were
in.
first going out on the boat, he was like, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
he didn't seem like he wanted to do it.
I don't think he wanted to do it. I don't think he had any intention of doing it, but because you got in my head that was a thing, I then kind of made that a thing.
Which worked.
And then, yeah. Well, the fact that it seemed like he didn't want to do it then made me like want to do it, yeah.
Hey, you guys jumped in.
Yeah, and now we have an ending to the episode.
I'm glad it happened because we needed an ending, and I don't know what the ending would have been had if we didn't have you guys.
We would have had. We just wouldn't have had like the exclamation point. Which anytime like that, yeah, it just makes for a nice, clean, obvious end.
For Brad and Seth, I am Graham. Goodbye.